Good morning. Can you guys see my chart? Can you guys see my chart? No, you can't see it. Interesting. Look. How about now? You see it? Cool. All right. Let's talk about the markets. It's Friday. Wait, am I recording? I am. I remember to record today. It's Friday, another opportunity to get a little bit better, guys. So we're bouncing out of this low. Okay, we had a few long wicks, right? Anytime you see a long wick like this, you should expect for it to get retested, right? It's absolutely going to happen. Okay, we're rounding out the bottom here. ES coming up, really traversing this shelf on the higher time frames. This is pop open ES here on the daily. Take a look at the setup here. Man, this music is fire. Huge node right here. A lot of bottom wicks coming out of it. So if this is the low, right, this was your swing entry. Sitting in these lows here, you can see here that we did like a 99% retest of this wick here. Okay, I mentioned these long wicks will get retested. Okay, so we need to see if we're going to bounce out of this. It is Friday. Keep that in mind. And do we have data today? Okay, we've got Powell at 10 a.m. Okay, so he's probably going to say what he's always said, which is he's not doing anything with the rates, not lowering them. Everyone will be surprised, and we'll go about our lives. I am sitting in the long. I want to see if we go back to all-time highs. Just for reference, for anybody who missed the previous story, I had a swing along from 860. I cut that about 420 and played a short yesterday or the other day, whatever day that was, Wednesday. I have not been on the charts that much, but sending along right now. We'll see if this is the low for all-time highs, and I'll just sit in this until literally all-time highs again. So that is the trade plan, really the only plan right now. Let me look at my notes really quickly. What else did I want to talk about? We are doing a giveaway today, so stay tuned for that. We'll do some TA around the markets. Let's mark up our key levels for today, though. We'll do that here in a second. Let me see the chat. Well, we got a few people in. Dallin, good morning. Y'all really good morning. Muthukumar, good morning. Something Like Therapy, good morning. Brandon Broussard, good morning. Eric Odin, good morning. I think that's Jose M. DeFrank Jr., good morning. Just Eric, good morning. TK, good morning. Daryl, good morning. Just Eric, can't remember if I said your name. Good morning, Paolo. Good morning, Black Diamond Trader. Good morning, Conquistador. Good morning, Subramanian. Good morning, Rajamani. Good morning, OG Trade. Good morning. Blessings back to you. Shout out to everybody who joined today. I appreciate y'all. You can be doing anything with your lives. I'm glad you're doing a little trading with me on a Friday. So the first thing we got to do, obviously, is bust open our charts, right? So this previous downside target has now become support, right? So we dipped down into this liquidity here. We're bouncing out of it. We've got 3 bottom wicks on the daily, okay? High volume on the 20th. So there's this obvious node here. We just traversed it. Because it's Friday, we could have an insight or a pretty tight day, right? We might not escape this node here. So 64.38 might actually be as high as we get. If we do run today, right, we need to think about what's possible on the weekly. Okay, so this is our weekly candle. This candle is closing today. So your TA at the beginning of the week and the end of the week is really, really important, guys. It's really, really simple. The question you got to ask yourself is, what could the weekly candle look like? Okay, you see me do this on Mondays. Fridays is important too. Okay, you want to come up with a sensible explanation for what you think is possible for the weekly candle. It's a candle just like any other candle, right? So even if this pops higher, it'll give us a nice long bottom wick. We talked about wicks quite a bit. If we get a long wick on this week, what do we expect to happen next week, guys? That's right. We should expect that wick to get retested. So that means the open of next week is probably going to be a down candle retesting the long bottom on this if it closes with a long wick. If it doesn't, right, that would mean that we come a little bit lower today. If we don't get another long wick, right, we'd have a down day. But we're probably going to trade inside this candle. We're not going to put in a new high or low on the weekly candle, in my opinion. We'll see what happens in 12 minutes here, but that should make a lot of sense. If it doesn't, rewind the stream, listen to this shit twice. Let's go to the daily. Ooh, I'm jamming. Retest. Yep, Dallin got it. So knowing the parameters, right, of our market right now, it's a Friday. Now on the daily, we got to ask ourselves the same thing. What makes sense for today? We know there's this large node here. Okay, this downside target is now support. Okay, we've got the trend line down here still supporting us. Okay, higher time frame trend line. Okay, still has not been retested. Okay, we've been front running it, which is bullish. Okay, just how escaping away from a level like a POC or a node. Okay, and the downside was bearish. We're front running this trend line here. It's bullish, right? We had a trend that was sloped like this, and it's starting to slope more up. May not feel like it because the last few days have been red, but we literally front ran this level. Perspective is everything. It's key. So our uptrend is getting more uptrendy-ish on a very slowly, okay, days at a time. Let's go to the 4 hour, and we have to ask ourselves, is there anything key here that I care about going into 10 a.m.? Not really. Longing down here is really the thesis. Doesn't matter when or how, right? Once we dip to this level, really this previous downside target, just slapping a long on there, it's kind of the play. Obviously, you'd be red for a while. You'd be green right now if you had that entry. That's what it's like trading on the higher time frames, folks. So probably push up to 64.31 before 10. And I personally wouldn't hold anything through 10 if you don't have capital to sit on and if you don't have a good entry. It's just not the type of environment for it. And I would just let today go if you don't have a good entry, right? Today's one of those days where you'll probably get smoked. Let's take a look at NQ, do the same thing. Well, actually, before we do that, there's 4 key areas that we execute from every day, guys. What are they? SK Prakar, welcome. Kirthana, welcome. Quad, welcome. What are the 4 key levels? Chat. Pull through for me. Previous highs, lows. That's right. So we go to the previous day. Good morning. So the 4 key levels, I'm gonna write this out every single day so you guys burn this into your memory. These are the only places on a day where you should even consider taking action, especially if you're new, right? I'm telling you, stick to this and you'll probably be green. Overnight high, overnight low, prior day high, prior day low. Boom. Why? Well, we know people have to take action there. So let's look at which one of those are relevant. Prior day low is not off the table. We got an overnight low, 63, 64. Wow, I just went full dyslexic for a second. Couldn't even speak. Went nonverbal for like half a second, guys. What's going on? I'm freaking out. Should I see a doctor? Write doctor in the chat if you think I should go to a hospital. I'm kidding. Anyways, that's overnight low. Overnight high. Where's overnight high? It doesn't really exist, right? Prior day high also not really on the table. Okay. which means we just want to look for a next pivot in the market or a volume profile shelf. We're kind of in this low value node, so let's zoom out, get our nodes in play here a bit more. There's this shelf that we're in. So really the level that I care about is this shelf. So we'll use this shelf and we'll just call this the upside level. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter what you call it. Just call it something. Okay. So those are really what we're trading inside of. These are the only areas that really matter to take trades. They're going to be good trades, high quality trades, A trades, the best trades. Trades where you'll make a significant amount of money. Are there other trades that you could take today? Sure. Do your thing. Do whatever you want. Sky's the limit. We all got free will. I'm using mine right now. Talking to a void. You guys are listening on the other side of it. Pretty crazy. It's the internet. There we go. Some answers in the chat. Love that. So the other thing to inspect, so we're getting lower and lower and lower. We're zooming in. What is the volume profile on a session by session basis? What is the trend of the volume profiles across sessions? Okay, so let's go ahead and write that down. Okay. How do these old VPs be looking? Okay, that's the question. That is the correct way to ask it as well, by the way. Okay. Is there a trend? Okay. So obviously there's a trend, like a local downtrend, right? We're in an uptrend on like the weekly, monthly time frame. The last three volume profiles, okay, were all kind of D shapes, right? So we had this really extended D shape from the 19th. We had another D day on the 20th, and we have a D shape that's formed overnight, which has turned into this range. Stacked back-to-back D-shaped volume profiles has given us this range. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, given this, knowing this, it's a Friday, it's the end of the week, the parameters of the weekly, what makes the most sense? Okay, so right now, most of the liquidity is below us, 23,242. ES is very extended. We'll go to the 1 hour in terms of the VP. So this is probably gonna mean revert. And if it doesn't mean revert, guys, that means we're going to have an exceptionally bullish Friday, which means we're going to end that weekly with a very long bottom wick. Do not forget the weekly candle. Keep that in mind because that's going to give you your next trade idea for Sunday. Okay. But look at this. So very likely this is going to get retested at some point. So we'll probably get some tweezer back to it or something. Would make the most amount of sense, right? If it doesn't, well, rerun the stream. Watch it back twice. Any questions on that, guys? Thoughts, concerns? Let me know. Do let me know. What the heck? Not a good entry, but got my 50 done for the week. There you go, man. Love that. Efficient. Efficient. My editor just sent me something. Hold up, guys. Trump at noon, apparently. Join the Discord if you're not a member of the Discord. Check it out. Best place on the internet. If you don't use stop loss, how you exit your trade if it doesn't go expected, I would just use a stop loss if you're new. The way that I trade is, let's just do some quick math for you guys. Okay. Let's just say, for example, that I have a 500K trading account, right? Let's just assume it's around that size, right? Let's just assume, okay? So 1 in Q is $20 a point. The question is, am I sweating this amount? Or if I'm doing 3 in Q, 4 in Q, 5 in Q, right? If you have a 10K trading account, say $10,000 trading account, Okay. What size can you just sit in? Okay. It's probably a few M and Q. Okay. So if you want to really trade with no stop loss, right? How I do sometimes, and I do use stops. My trades that I'm very confident in, I don't have a stop. I don't like watching the market come to my stop. I know for a fact it affects me psychologically. Other people might not have that problem. But it doesn't mean that I just don't pay attention. What I do is I set alerts, right? So I'll have alerts, and I'll usually have a series of alerts as it gets closer to my entry or around levels that I care about. That's all. And I'll just cut the trade, right? Or if it starts to approach an area, I'll add a stop after it hits a few alerts. I just psychologically don't like seeing that line on my chart and seeing the market come close to it because I will start to reassess my initial thesis. And my initial thesis so often is just correct, right? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's whatever. Don't even care. So that's all. But you just need to trade small enough. You need to trade as small as possible. Trade one M and Q, guys, and see how your metrics pan out. See what your profit factor is. See what your win rate is. Okay. And more interesting, look at your profit factor related to your leverage. Okay. Your consistency over time is another thing. Look at all of those metrics trading one M and Q. If you trade one M and Q for like 90 days, this is what I tell everybody, by the way, and most people don't do it. Trade one M and Q for like 90 days. If you can be profitable with that, scale up. If you can't, you're probably just not that good of a trader yet, which is okay. But there's no reason if you can't be profitable over 90 days trading one M and Q, like there's no way you're gonna be profitable trading more leverage. You know what I mean? So that'd be my advice. Good strategy, but risk matters when you don't watch the screen, right? That's why you have to trade as small as possible. You have to. So one of the things, and this is really, really key, okay, in your trading journey, there's like levels to this. 10 o'clock. Let's see here. Okay. First is not losing money. 2 is finding some edge. Then 3 is like making money consistently. Okay. 2 and 3 don't go together. You might find an edge, but due to your psychology and inability to execute, you won't be able to make money consistently, right? You'll go through a boom and bust cycle. Some of you might be in that right now. So first you got to not lose money. You got to find some edge, and then you got to make money consistently. Say it with me. Not lose money. Find some edge. Make money consistently. Okay, we're popping up higher. So the reason why I say trade as little as possible is that it achieves or helps you on all 3 of these goals. Some people use fixed risk, which is fine, right? Having a fixed risk strategy is fine. It's totally fine, but fine is all that it is. Okay, if you want to be exceptional and test your thesis in the market, if you want to actually test ideas, your stop loss and your take profit should always be based off of what the chart is saying. It should not be fixed. You can't have like I always risk 10, or I risk 10 for 40, or 1 for 4, or whatever the things that people do, the RR-based risk, because they're not thinking about alpha. They're not thinking about outcomes. Okay, they're only thinking about capping their downside. You could always risk 1 and go for 4, but your win rate could be 0 because you suck, because you have no edge, right? So yeah, you'll stay alive for a while, but you're not actually getting in the trades that'll win. On the flip side, I could risk 1,000 points in every trade, but I might have let's just use another crazy. I might have a 90% win rate to where it's irrelevant. Like I'm risking 1,000 points. I have a bracket that's 1,000 points away, but my actual system works out for me. So I'm not actually risking that, right? So you need to actually think about, when you say you're risking money, what do you mean? What do you actually mean? Do you know the statistical probability of your ideas working out? If you don't actually know what you're risking. And that's where most people sit. They think that risk is the brackets on the screen. But that's not it. That's just like risk to your capital stack. You're not actually thinking about probable outcomes. The only way you're going to have a good assessment on that is if you have your own data in your system. So I digress. Write some shit down. What the heck? Hulk candle. Forrest in his bag. Thank you, bro. I live in there. I love the decor in the bag. Popping up. Ooh, ES doing something. I'm pretty sure I just made a ton of money on some calls I bought the other day. Let's go. Let's go. I forgot I bought these guys. I forgot. I just remembered I bought these calls. Put that in my freaking veins, dude. What questions you guys got for me? I'm going to run this giveaway in a few minutes. Now, this is a nice little data move. I want you guys to keep in mind the session VP. Okay, the magnet is lower. So do not be surprised if this smashes. I mean, this is really ran away. Take those. Sorry, guys, I'm selling these calls real quick. Hold up. All right, cool. That's exciting. I bought these calls, by the way, on, was it Wednesday? That was Wednesday. Bought them a few days ago. I anticipated that they were going to burn a day. So I bought calls for today, and I bought calls for next week, actually, at like 3:50 p.m. on Wednesday. Oh, this is J-hole. When it determines that it's going to range, how can we get better at recognizing that? That's really where starting with the weekly and asking yourself these really simple questions. I want everyone to write this down, okay? Your order of operations for every day is, what should the weekly look like? What should the daily look like? Okay. This is almost just a price action thing. Obviously, use the volume profile, but you need to know, like right now, we're trading the weekly candle. I'm looking at the 4-hour, but this is the weekly candle is closing. Okay. So we're either going to get that long bottom wick on the weekly or not. So we have to think about what are the odds of that. Right now, we have a VP that's lower. We have these very strong magnet lower. So we have this nice extension. Okay, we're going into yesterday's imbalance. We've got this naked value area high here. ES punch into this node. So ranging is a factor of what is possible on the week, on the day, and then where the magnets are. Okay. Another way of thinking about this, right, would be what liquidity matters. Okay. And how do we get there? Okay. So right now there's some obvious liquidity that matters. This liquidity down here matters. There's a node up higher, right? We've got the weekly candle that we're inside of, big bottom wick. Okay. If this closes like this, I'm already thinking about next week's trade idea. We're going to retest this. So I'm going to be looking for shorts in the open of next week to retest like 50% of this candle. But that's how I determine if we're ranging. Okay. It's just the bob and weave of the market. It takes a lot of time too, right? But part of that intuition is by writing these things down over and over again. Also, if we just look from how the market's been behaving, so we've been squeezing into these levels. The market compresses and expands. So we've been Look at this compression here, then it expands and it's squeezing. Like the actual ranges, the ATR in the days are getting smaller. They're only going to get so small, right? And then they're going to break out again, right? So part of that is keeping your eye on the VIX, right? VIX hit that 17 level. It's coming off, come all the way down to probably the 1476 again. So all these things work together, but they're all very simple ideas on their own. And then the real question is, after you think about all that stuff, is do I have a really clear trade idea? And if you don't, that's your answer. That's actually the answer you wanted. I think some people get frustrated when they don't know what to do, instead of saying that, like, not knowing what to do is the trade idea, right? You know, you just do nothing. You do nothing. If you do nothing, you protect your capital, and then the next time a trade arrives that is high quality, you'll have all of your money. It's crazy how that works, right? There's nothing special about this up candle. And I know some of you are sweating it right now. You're like, fuck. You're wigging out, right? Feel like you're missed out. I guarantee you in a week, you're going to forget this happened because you're going to be so locked into whatever other move is happening. You know, until you get out of that hyper fixation on the current candle, you're going to always have that feeling. You have to stop having that feeling, guys. Got to stop it. Today is irrelevant other than learning. Maybe you made some money today if you saw it coming yesterday or this morning. If you didn't, today's over for you. It's done. Let it go. Learn. Probably cut these calls too early, but oh well. We'll take those. Let's see what happens here. So we're in this node on ES. See if we'll come up to the 64.89 level. Very bullish move so far. I meant to ask when it's a not going to range for the day after breaking out the range. It depends. Like today, I'll just use today, for example, instead of having such an ambiguous answer. I imagine that this is, unless we start building value higher, look at how stretched out the VP is. Like this is going to have to revert. It just will. All right. The alternative, let's talk about ways I could be wrong. Okay. Maybe I'm just wrong and it just has a crazy up candle. You know, that would be exceptional. Right. Which I'm fine with not predicting. I can't really attempt to play exceptional moves. What's key about that too is there's zero reason to even try to play the outlier move in futures. In options, yes. But like this was a 300-point day. Yeah, there's some money there, but it's not like it matters. You know what I mean? There's no reason to be risking money in uncertain moves. If it like rages up to like 24,500 or something, right? Like, I don't think it's going to do that. If it does, you know, oh well. So the way that I think about it is simple, you know, VPE trading, right? We've got the magnet down here. This will probably revert. The question is, do I want to short right now? Right? Assuming it would de-lever a little bit, right? Would I want to short here, knowing it's going to come back eventually to this? Probably. Do I want to zoom in a little bit, see if there's volume building higher? But without volume building higher, this thing will mean revert. There's a little node here on ES. What it'll start to do is, if it is going to go higher, is we will get like a flag like this. It's going to go higher. But we should expect a pullback to at least here. Right, this little node right here. At least. At minimum. J Power. Let's see. We've got the. Did they sweep this? They got pretty close to sweeping this. ES tested 64.76. This is high from this day. We're gonna get off the 15. It's not really a time frame I want to be on. You can see there's a little node here as well. Now watch this reverse all the longs to break even. Yeah, unless they hold or build a ton of volume here, this is going to mean revert. On NQ, we've got about this price here that I would expect a little bit. So even if they keep building this node here, we should expect a flag to form at about this range here, right? We'll just box it in for you guys, see how good I am. Pretty bullish so far, though. It's moving. All right, let's get this giveaway machine going. You guys want free stuff? You guys want some free stuff? I know you do. Hold up. Let's call this hold up. I'll send that in a second. All right. Let me publish this. Yeah. Okay. Manage. Responder view. Anyone with the link? Boom. All right. Check this out. That is not what I wanted to copy. Check that out. Would love to hear your thoughts on RTY being the temporary market leader, or just thoughts on RTY in general. This swing long is very green, I'll tell you that. I don't really have thoughts on it being a leader. I don't watch RTY, just to be honest, but we'll do some general TA on it. Looks like I looked at it at some point. Let's let the VP load real quick. The node right here, I would say look for it to sweep these highs. This literal previous line that I have for some reason, probably at the edge of this node. If it sweeps this high here, then that might be our high of the day. Let me actually add an alert. Useful. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it's in an uptrend. It's pushing higher. I would see if it sweeps these highs from back here, then maybe everything starts to come back. ES is moving towards that price here. $64.89. Don't need that level anymore. Don't need that level anymore. Bullish. The form for the giveaway is there. What the hell? Oh, the paper trading is lagging immensely. You don't need that. Just for the sake of example. See how we're doing over here. Very close to this level, 64.90. I'm debating if I want to take. Oh man, some profits. Giveaway form is in the chat. No, it's definitely lagging. Friday high and edge of the node. Would you consider that two confluences would be third you look for? I'm looking at an edge, right? There's a node here and these highs. So that's really that's all that I'm looking at here. So it's either going to respect that. I mean, it could front run it, but a sweep of this would give us a really nice short to take, right? Be added confluence. Right now, ES and NQ are inside, but this has some nice highs that it could sweep, right? NQ and ES don't really have some prior day highs that are nicely swept right now, right? ES has the all-time highs that it could sweep, which technically are some highs, right? We've got these all-time highs. NQ doesn't really have a prior day high that it can sweep right now without going much higher, which is totally possible. So the RCY would give us a nice little confluence for a short. We just hit this trend line here. It's not on the chart. Hopefully you guys can see it pretty obviously. Trend line right there. That might be the move right there. We respect this trend line and we respect this price right here. That could be it. We'll peel one off. You guys filling out the form? Wow, you guys are fast. 18 responses so far. Paper trading, it's hurting your paper millions. You guys are funny. Guys are some funny lads. Let's see if we peel back a little bit. $34 people on shout out. If you haven't said what's up in the chat, say what's up. Subscribe, hit that like button, appreciate it. Hit the giveaway link. I met a lot of people yesterday. I forgot to tell you guys this. So if you saw, I met Patrick Weiland, My Funded Futures, did a meetup here in Miami. A few other traders. Met Matt Leach, COO of MFF. Saw him. Met Luke. All of them were in Miami. Drinking their asses off. They were cool. That was chill. That was super chill. Last question of the day for you. What's your thoughts on taking breaks from the chart during win streak or losing? Take a break, bro. Leave. I mean, when you first start trading, you'll be looking at the charts all the time. I've put in thousands of hours, guys. Thousands of hours on the charts. Thousands every day for hours a day. Now, it's more intentional. So I look around up until 10:30ish. I look at 2 to 2:30. Those are really the only times of the day I'm interested. And then at close at like 3:30, I'll look. It's the only times I really care to trade. I'm so okay with missing most of what happens. I just don't care. It's just not relevant because I trade on the 4 hour and the daily. Like I literally, and not to hate, but like I see so much chatter in like our Discord or just in general, and I'm just like, none of this stuff that's being said even matters. Like it does not matter, guys. Like find a higher time frame, trade inside of it. Like for example, if you have a thesis the market's going to go up 1,000 points in a week, what does it matter what happens on the 15-minute? Just go long. Just go long. Check it at the end of the week. Easy peasy. Boom, bam. Problem solved. All right, so we're coming back down to, but yeah, take a break. Even if you're hot, if you have a really hot day, take a break. If you're having a bad day, take a break. Just take breaks, do something else, exercise, go work on something else. But don't try to fix it. Okay, you can't fix a trade. Once a mistake has been made, it's like poker, right? You can't there's no takesy backsies. It's like, oh crap, I didn't mean to go all in on that hand. It's like, oh buddy, chips are gone. So, yeah, nice rejection. So there's that trend line up here that we rejected. This level up here we got to, right? We traversed this node, just coming off a little bit. And let's see if it fully reverts or if it's going to stop at this yellow line, right? So this yellow line is the edge of that node that it built here on the lower time frames. We'll see what it does for us. Hey, Forrest, which is ideal for traveling traders? Invest in a strong laptop with one of the best processors, or use the laptop phone you have. I would get Quant VPS. You don't need a strong computer to trade anymore. I mean, with TradingView and things like that, or just like logging into a remote server, I would definitely say you should not be trading on the low time frames if you're traveling. Also deleverage. Okay, my biggest loss, if you haven't heard the story, I lost $500,000 traveling in Egypt, trading with a massive ego because I thought I couldn't lose, and I had my biggest loss ever. So just be smart about it. Should have had a pick with your breaking in front of them. End of the day, dude, at my age, I could barely touch my toes. I'm kidding, I could touch my toes, but nah, it was a nice event though. It was cool. Having an account you can hold for multiple days makes a huge difference. Of course. That's what I like to call real trading. Check out the giveaway. Also, Carbs, I don't know if I said what's up earlier. Click 56. Mr. Smith, what's up? Bravenheart, what's up? Who else did I miss? Romeo GQ, what's up? All right, guys, we're going to do this giveaway. We're going to do it right now. I'm going to put these into random name picker. I always pick the wrong one first. Here we go. Pick out 4 names. Drum roll. Virtual drum roll. I'll save you guys from that. This week's winners are SMK Prabhu, Parvati 8996, Conquistador, and Eric Friedman 87. It's pretty high up. Oh, my mouse is going crazy. My Bluetooth is messing up. Let me switch to my other one. So I will inform the MFF team of your guys' good luck, and you should see those in your account soon. Congratulations. Thanks for joining the giveaway. Domo, good morning. Welcome. Distinguished Trader, good morning. Welcome. Best place on the internet right here. Trading with Forrest. Tell MFF to allow holding overnight. I cannot say anything about anything, but maybe one day that's a thing that they'll do. Who won? You missed it? Yeah, I'll run it back. One more time with more excitement. Drum roll. In reverse order, we got Eric Freeman, 87, Conquistador, Parvati, 8996, and SMK Prabhu are the week of what's today, Friday, August 22nd. Those are your weekly Trading with Forrest winners for MFF profit counts. I'm reaching out to a few other firms. I'm going to try and do, for some reason, I don't know why I just had this vision, had like this download. I was like, what if I just gave away a lot of accounts? So I'm going to try and make that happen. Don't expect something quick. I'm a very busy guy, but I am having these conversations. I want to try and hook you guys up with some more accounts. Cost me nothing other than a few moments of time. So happy to do it. And it's useful for y'all. So why not? Another thing, another quick tip for those of you using Ninja. Okay. I have a new partnership with Affordable Indicators. So they have a copy trading tool as well as a few other interesting indicators that you might want to use. I have discounts on. So if you've ever looked at them, I'll have some stuff for you coming next week. So stay tuned for that. That's some pretty cool Ninja plugins from what I've seen. So if you're trading prop accounts and want to manage that a little bit better, they have some good tools around actually managing the risk on your prop accounts too, which I think is useful for all you prop traders. So that'll be coming in very soon. One more thing. Next week we'll be doing, I think I'm just going to do the giveaways every Friday. Keep it simple so that it's not such a long running thing. Or maybe only stream 3 days. I was like, I could do one account per stream. The heck? What firms we expect in future? I'm using Ninja. I'm gonna ask the Apex team for sure. I'm gonna see if I can get some TPT accounts. So those guys at a minimum. Those are some of the more popular ones. If you have other firms you want me to ask about, shoot them my way. You know, I'm not the largest channel, but I have 18,000 followers, so, or subscribers, whatever the word is. All right, wrap up thoughts. I do got to get out of here. Watch how we interact around these levels. Again, RTY is close to that level. My alert has not fired yet, so once RTY sweeps those highs, that might be it. We pushed up to this trend line. We need to be building volume higher and holding, which we're kind of doing right now. So it's holding higher a little bit, though we still do have the magnet lower. So I would not be surprised if this came all the way down to either POC at some point today. Just keep that in mind. If it does consolidate, right, that would prep us for a measured move either in the afternoon today, if it's a fast consolidation, or it would be a measured move at the open of next week, right? And then given that this would be a fat bottom wick, that would probably give us a move higher and then a move lower. Okay, so just think about what makes the most sense, and I'll leave you guys with just a little bit of an idea. Okay, it really does not matter how long it takes you to figure out trading, right? As long as you just improve a little bit every single day. Okay, you can move a mountain one stone at a time, as they say. Literally, you could move a mountain one stone at a time. The question is, are you willing to do it? So stay with it, stay positive, stay action oriented, be nice to yourself, stay healthy, subscribe to my channel, invite your friends, please. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. I'm out of here. kindly bring ninja things, I will. I will. All right, y'all. I'm out. Enjoy the weekend.